Dell just recently announced a new version of the Dell XPS 15, a Skylake version, to replace the Skylake version, the one I've been using for the past year or so. Hi, my name's Andrew, and this is our series, Is It Still Worth It?, where we take a look back at devices and gadgets released over the past year or so, see how well it's held up over time, to see if it's still relevant today. Up next is the Dell XPS 15 Skylake, with its beautiful 4K UHD display. Let's find out if it's still worth it. With the recent announcement of the Dell XPS 15 with Skylake processor, I wanted to take a look back at its Skylake predecessor, the one I've been using for the past year. It's the one with the Intel Core i7-6700HQ quad-core CPU. It has 16 gigs of DDR4 memory, and it has 256 gigabytes of PCIe SSD storage. The unit I have has a dedicated nvidia GeForce GTX 960M GPU with 2 gigs of video memory. It weighs only 4.4 pounds, is only 0.66 inches thick. Now the unit I have has the 84 watt-hour battery, which is the larger battery capacity, and it is really elegant looking with its carbon fiber on the inside and its CNC machined aluminum on the outside. But what makes this unit so special is that it has a 15.6 inch 4K UHD display. It is simply stunning. It's the Infinity Edge display with very minimal bezels. The touch display gets bright at 285 nits, but not quite as bright as its 1080p version, which gets even brighter. Now, its color accuracies are spot on, as you get 191.4 sRGB and 131.9% Adobe RGB. Simply stunning. One thing has become very evident over the past year. Once you go with a UHD 4K display of this magnitude, it's very hard to use any other kind of display or anything with less resolution. The build quality and build construction are top-notch and really premium, and it's held up so well over time, it really looks like a brand new machine. One thing I've learned to appreciate is its keyboard. At 1.39 millimeters of key travel and 60 grams of actuation, that's the amount of force needed for a key press, I really do like this keyboard. I think it's very comfortable to type on, and I was able to type with accuracy. And I really also like the precision touchpad. At 4 by 3 inches, it really worked well, and 2-finger scrolling was a pleasure, as well as your ability to use Windows 10 gestures. Dell certainly understood one thing. You wanted to look towards the future with the USB Type-C port, but also include some legacy ports, some USB Type-A, something that Apple needed to do but failed to provide on its new MacBook Pros. And having used the MacBook Pro, I've certainly come to really appreciate the XPS 15's 3 USB ports. 2 USB Type-A and 1 forward-thinking USB Type-C, which has Thunderbolt 3 support. And you also get a full-size HDMI port, again, something that the MacBook Pro 2016 doesn't have. And speaking of something missing from the MacBook Pro that the videographers and photographers certainly would like, is a full-size SD card reader. A simple touch, but something that we come to really appreciate now that the 2016 MacBook Pros have been released. And something else that the MacBook Pro once upon a time used to have was a power indicator light button. When pressed, you know exactly how much battery time you have left. A really simple but nice touch. Now, to test the speakers, let's take a look and a listen at one of our favorite channels, Western Gents United, one of the premier sources, by the way, of all things Dell XPS 15 and even Dell XPS 13. Let's take a look and a listen.
Hello there, champs, and welcome to the show. Today I'm going to be reviewing the very controversial new MacBook Pro 15-inch. Now, throughout this review, I will be comparing it to its main competitor, which would be the XPS 15 here.
I really do like these speakers. They've held up well over time, and as I've been using other devices, I've really come to appreciate just how good these speakers are. Don't forget to check out Western Gents United coverage of the Dell XPS 15, as well as the new Skylake version coming very soon. And one negative to having a virtually bezel-less display is the awkward positioning of the webcam. The only place where they could put it is in the lower left-hand corner, resulting in up-your-nose webcam action, something that's not very flattering. Performance is certainly its strong suit, as you can see by the Geekbench 4 multi-core score, as well as the fact that it has the built-in nvidia GPU, and as you can see from the built-in graphics, it did 18,966, but the nvidia GPU did 48,858. Really stellar scores indeed. And the XPS 15 has some very fast NVMe PCIe SSD. Look at these scores, 2477 on the read and 1112 on the write. And it did very well on the Octane score with 33,524, one of the higher end scores we've seen. Adobe Premiere Pro works well, as you can see here. It does 4K video, you could do 1080p 60 frames per second. All sorts of video editing is certainly possible on this powerhouse. Wireless reception worked well. You have Bluetooth 4.0 and you have wireless AC, which is dual band wireless, and as you can see from the download speeds, very good. Ignore the upload speeds, that has more to do with my internet service and not the XPS 15. Now, as far as battery life is concerned, over the past year, I've seen it get around 6.5 to 7 hours. I would say 6.5 hours is a safe bet for the UHD version, where the full HD version can get well over 10 hours. Remember, it doesn't have as many pixels to drive. So has the Dell XPS 15 with a Skylake processor held up well over time? Is it still worth your hard-earned money? And the answer is absolutely. This is one of the best machines, Windows or Mac or any other operating system for that matter, out there. And with the refresh coming, this may be even more attractive with a price drop. Here's what I like. I love its beautiful, stunning 15.6-inch UHD 4K display, its premium build quality, its great performance, its dedicated nvidia GPU, which will get a bump up in the next iteration, and you get a nice keyboard along with some good speakers. And as with any device, even a stellar one like this, there are things I don't like. First, the 4K or UHD version, the one I have, has worse battery life than the 1080p model, which makes sense since there are less pixels to drive in the 1080p version. And speaking of the UHD display, it's a bit dimmer than the 1080p version as well. I really don't care for that up-your-nose webcam, and I understand there's really very little place where they could put the webcam, and this thing is a big fingerprint magnet. But with those few negatives aside, this is still one of my favorite machines of all time. This is really a classic, ladies and gentlemen. It really has held up well and is still as strong as ever. Its beautiful build quality has really held up extremely well, and I love its gorgeous 4K display, still one of the best out there right now. And with the anticipated refresh in terms of the Skylake processor and the bumped up nvidia GPU, this can only get better. But for those wanting a good discount on such a great machine, the Skylake version should get a price decrease over the coming months. That's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. An excellent buy. So what do you think about the Dell XPS 15 Skylake version? I'm excited about the new Skylake version that was just announced. I'm sure you're excited as well. I will be reviewing it as soon as it is released, rest assured. But I'm curious to know what you think about this version. I think with this new version coming out, prices will be going down. Makes this version, the Skylake version, a steal in a sense, because you're getting one of the top laptops on the market with still up-to-date specs. You're still getting respectable, excellent performance from a Skylake processor. Remember, Skylake is not that much of a monumental increase in terms of performance. It's more incremental, and it's a little bit better in the power department as far as consumption. You'll do a little bit better on battery life. So if you don't want to pay that premium for the new version, then take a look at this version, because I still think it's very relevant today. But I'm curious to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. And don't forget to check out our website at amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.